Alright, here she is. I'm gonna try to get it started down in there, but I don't feel like doing a cold start on this thing outside. It's kind of cold. So I'm gonna pull it up, Durango, and chain it and whatnot. So let's get this thing done. Alright, so we are gonna get this thing pulled down into the shop. I'm gonna let him go. Yeah, can't see anything out of these windows, but everything's gonna get cleaned and whatnot. I want this thing as perfect as possible because there's no rush to build this thing. I can build this thing as slowly as I want to. So, I think he's on me now. There we go, we're moving. Going down nice and slow. Gonna try to aim it right. Can't see out that mirror. Fun, fun. The tuner's pretty much spoken for, so we're gonna get this thing pulled out here without need to pull a ground and the EGT gauge that's back there. That'll be the first thing. Yeah, he told me about the sound system in the back. This will go in the black truck.
Why?
Because back here, I think we're gonna put a bed in the back of this. Just because. This will be the longer hauling truck. Haven't seen any rust yet on the bed, but we'll get this thing pulled today. Get it cleaned up. Well, not cleaned up, but I guess you get the point. Oh yeah, not too bad. Get the mirrors off of it. Need one wheel cover. All right, oh, there, get rid of the lighting. All right, so we pretty much, I'm thinking that's spoken for. That's all taken apart. I put a jump pack on it. That battery that we charged overnight only had like 1 volt to it. So I'm gonna try and see, yeah, see, it doesn't like that. So we're gonna put some jump packs on this thing and see if we can't crank it over or fire it. There we go. Because he said he put 5 gallons of fresh diesel in it. So let me see. That's a grid heater. Yeah, I don't want to run the grid heater, but let's throw this jump pack on it, this jump pack on it. I'm gonna try to crank it. If it doesn't fire, you know, whatever. I know it fired over there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I have the battery capacity to do it though, because both my jump packs are kind of like iffy. So, and then that one's broken. So I'd put 3 on it and there's no batteries. So let's try it, see what happens. All right, let's see what we get out of it. See, the the red light's blinking, so it's not gonna let it fire. It's way too dead. We need batteries, because like it cranks, sounds healthy cranking. We need more juice, because it's, I don't know if it's this key or what. Oh, I hate that. The key's probably not gonna let it. The red light was flashing, so it's not gonna let it run regardless. Oh, that sucks. Because it's cranking fairly nicely. Let's see. I don't think we have any more jump packs, but that jump pack's good. This jump pack has power. So who knows? Let's try it again. I don't know. This sucks. Might have just given me the wrong key. Nope. Okay, so no, we're good there. So it's just dead enough, like it wasn't flashing it at me until it started to lose power. So let's give her another go. Ooh, it wants to. It definitely. Get the seat moved forward. This whole truck, I am gonna 100% pay somebody to detail this because I am not gonna be the one to clean this thing. Oh! I think we'll get it. I don't know, I'm optimistic. Y'all wanted a cold start, but I'm in a hurry to get this thing torn apart. He put 5 gallons in it, so let's see. Nope, she ain't happy. Give it some time here. Try it again. Sucks. He said he put 5 gallons in it. That's all I know. Like, I don't know if that's enough. I don't know. The diesel gauge is reading 0. Oh, and a jump pack shut off. All right, well, my jump pack, this was a fully charged jump pack, it looked like. Look at that. So I tried, I really did. This thing's not strong enough to do it by itself, apparently. And this thing, I don't have a way to really charge it. So sorry about that, but yeah, like I said, the engine was running. It's a good engine, 130,000 miles. Previous video, if you want to see the sale on it, go to the last video. It's not up for me yet in this video, but you know, whatever. So yeah, let's get this thing all torn down. So since I really don't have to rush on this build, since this truck doesn't depend, like I don't depend on it to make me money yet, I think I want to, like the other one I did, basically I got rid of everything that's unnecessary. I think with this truck, I'd like to keep the things that I said were unnecessary, like keep the grid heater, keep as many of the sensors as physically possible. And you know, you can't keep things like the injector harness and stuff like that. Like, I'm obviously not going to be able to keep stuff like that because, you know, 12 valve common rail, it doesn't really work out like that. But I'd like to keep a lot of that stuff that just says, you know, I said shouldn't belong. So I will keep probably the grid heater on that truck. I want to keep like as factory looking as possible if I can. So I'll probably keep the factory intake and but like just all of that stuff, just keep all of that. Definitely do a 5-inch exhaust and maybe a cold air intake at the very most. But I don't know, you guys let me know. But this whole engine like is coming out and it's going to be for sale. So I don't want anything to do with it other than like, well, the adapter plate and some other minor odds and ends. So let's see if I can't get like as many sensors to work as possible. This is also gonna have to, probably gonna have to get rid of that too, because I don't know that I like that. I don't like that it says it only has a GCWR of 23,000. Most guys are running these trucks way higher than that. I've seen these trucks in the 35,000 range, and it's like, all right. So we got something was living in here at one point. It's kind of neat. All right, let's get this intake out. Pretty sure it just clips in. There we go. Sweet. I really am curious on what the shape of the turbo is. So if it's good, we'll save it. Turbo seems to be all right. I see a silencer ring in there. That's going to be coming out. These HE351s look so small when you compare them to the VGTs. So, but yeah, this will be the turbo we run. It's got the electronic wastegate, which we will convert that to a mechanical wastegate, but try to keep the factory sensors and whatnot. So that, or you know, I might not even need to convert it. I might just be able to put a boost fooler in it, and it should work with the 12 valve, but we shall, we'll see. It was unnecessarily difficult with that coolant hose down there, but everything is dry. So this thing is gonna get a ton of new parts. We'll start throwing all this stuff back together so we know that everything stays. This goes with the engine. So I do not need that, but I'm gonna take it off for now. So well, here's about where we're at. Look at that. Here we go. So power steering lines are off, fan clutch is off. I need the tone ring and the sensors. This will go with it. CP3 goes with it. I'll need the AC compressor, the turbo. That should be about it, actually. So don't need the FCA sensor, or the, yeah, I don't need the FCA either. Even if there are things you're not going to use, like you know, the FCA and the fuel rail pressure sensor, still helps to mark them so you know what you can cut later. Alright, clutch is off. This piece right here is super crucial for the 12-ounce swap. So this is how you get the crank sensor to tell the ECU that it's running. So without this, you don't have an ECU that's going to tell you the engine's running. So I ran it like that for a couple months. Stopped not having an ECU. Alright, alternator is off, set aside. That's going with the motor, like I said. So I'm gonna start getting some of these, like the hose here. I'm gonna get that off. Alright. Start grabbing this wire harness. Should be able to label some of this stuff. Get this filter out of the way. Alright, so I'm trying to get these, you guys can see back there, trying to get that off, and then I'm going to leave the top two bolts in. We'll get the oil feed, oil drain, engine harness is over here, at least half of it, the other half is up here. So these things actually have a ton of room to work on these two-wheel drives. Like, there's so much room for activities here. I gotta grab the ECU yet, and then that should be pretty much it. I rushed a little bit, but ECU is out. So pretty much on this side, I just have to undo the starter wires and the transmission. And now this side, feed, drain, turbo, and the downpipe. So all that'll come off. So. All right, turbo is out. Cool. Now I just gotta get some bell bolts and the motor mount. All right, so trying to be as efficient as possible. So I haven't filmed in a while. GoPro kind of died earlier, and I just kind of been charging batteries, or one battery, because that's all I got left. So we got the engine off, the engine mounts off, and realized that with the valve cover on, we got to take the oil pan off. So that's what I'm going to do now. Transmission is already separated, so I'm going to do that, and we're going to drain the oil now. So, but this is basically where we're at. So just drain the oil. Transmission's coming out. I'm just going to drop the tranny on the ground and then jack the truck up and pull it out. So like I said, this tranny, I'm gonna go over and inspect it, make sure everything's good. The last one that I did had metal shavings in it. Hopefully this one does not have metal shavings in it, but he said this one was parked because the original engine that was in it was giving a noise. All right, here she is, a fully assembled 5.9 Cummins. I didn't need to take off anything on the top. Just had to take the oil pan and the motor mounts off, which I need the motor mounts anyway. So I need to get this adapter plate off. Looks like this is a single disc clutch. So was looking at hopefully there being an upgrade, but you know, not a big deal. So like I said, we'll get this thing off and go from there. But this whole assembly will bolt right to the back of a 12 valve, not a problem. There's just 2 bolts that you can't use from this, from the adapter plate to the engine. And it looks like, aha, might have missed a ground strap. Not that it's gonna matter, with the 12 valve swap it'll be all right. So that feels way better. Let me see. So remember, I was spinning. Let me get this thing out of, let me get this, make sure that this thing, it's in neutral. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna spin this. Oh, that is way smoother than the three that I've only ever felt 3 NV 5600s and they all felt crunchy. And this one does not feel crunchy. That actually feels smooth. So who knows? We'll have good luck with that transmission, hopefully. This engine, like I said, is for sale. Ignore the rat's nest of stuff. I need to grab every one of the sensors on this thing that I'll be using. Like, I got the oil pressure sensor. I needed the crank sensor and tone ring. I needed the coolant temp sensor. And let me see. I don't know. I don't think I'll need the rail pressure sensor, but I do want the intake air temperature sensor, which is down there. I think that's intake air temperature. I don't know. It could be pressure as well, but I need that and everything else, this whole thing. I'm not opening this engine up. I don't want to look inside it. I don't want to know what's inside of it. All I know is that it was able to run. It was parked for a long time. Should be a good engine. Well, I mean, it is a good engine, but it should, you know, be a good engine to last somebody for a really long time. Maybe go over like, you know, the water pump, replace the replaceables, get the injectors tested, things like that. But yeah, so hopefully it works out. But there we go. We have a white truck with no engine in it. Now, I got a ton of questions. Why wouldn't I just run this truck if it would have worked, this and that? So I do want to make mention that the reason it doesn't make sense for me to put this truck on the road and work on that one as the project is because this truck's been sitting so long. I need to go over the suspension. I need to go over the bearings. I need to go over pretty much everything. Not to mention registering this thing is probably going to cost another $700, and just things like that. It just makes the most sense to sell the parts that I don't need, because I've done this swap before. Sell the parts that I don't need, get my money out of it, and then go and buy the parts that I do need. I've done this swap before. I made a whole checklist of things that I actually need. I put it on the internet. It's a private checklist, but I can send it to people if they need it. But basically, I know what everything I need. There isn't a single thing from this engine I don't need, like that I'm gonna sell. So basically, that's it. I know how to do this swap, and it's really not all that hard. You take the motor mounts. The only thing that sucks about it is on the 12 valve, you guys see where the motor mounts are back here. On the 12 valve, the motor mounts are up here, and then there's no holes back here, and then these stubbies don't even exist. So what you have to do is you have to take a steel plate and use the factory 4 holes, 2 holes into the block, 2 holes into the motor mount, and then another plate back here with a bolt on the back, and then a nut, and then that's basically how you do it. So steel plate about yay long from this hole to this hole, because these holes don't exist. So that's the only shitty part about the 12 valve that doesn't make it a bolt-in. But besides that, everything runs and goes perfectly, like where the fuel lines go and everything, like all of it's all simple stuff. So super easy to get a 12 valve to work in one of these. So I want to do this swap again with the working grid heaters, you know, with everything that it needs, and we'll go from there. But I want to have this one as nice as possible. Then down the road, maybe we'll build an Ison VGT 12 valve swapped 5500. We will see. So other than that, yeah, so I need to get this tranny out, and then we're gonna take, and then this thing's done. I'm gonna get the bed unbolted pretty much. All the parts that I'm gonna need are gonna go in the back of the truck, and we will sell the bed. And then basically once the bed's sold and all my parts are sold, the first thing I'm doing to this thing is taking it to a car wash and really trying to get this thing as clean as possible. This fender has a little bit of damage, and the door has a little bit of damage. So things like that. The mirrors I wanted to sell, but there is a crack in this mirror, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna sit here and probably beat the crap out of it. I actually ended up, yeah, look at that knuckle. Yeah. Get a little mad at it earlier, and might have, you know, done a little, you know, nothing's perfect in the shop all the time. So like I said, let's get this thing cleaned up and start pulling a transmission. All right, so I just went and looked at the transmission. I got all of the stuff out up here. So it's good to come down. I just gotta get the drive shaft and whatnot, and there is not a speck of metal in that transmission. That's awesome. So we'll get this thing out. We'll have a good transmission for my truck. We'll be able to build mine. I got the headlights out, the grill out, and the mirrors. Yeah, so these aren't gonna be savable. There is one over here. But I think I don't know if I showed you guys earlier, but it has a crack, so we're not going to be able to sell that one. The headlights, if you guys want them, I mean, I'm not super pressed about these. They will clean up, you know, you can clean the bullshit off of them, but like, I don't know. I feel bad selling them for that, like, super expensive. So if somebody wants them for like, I don't know, 20 bucks or something, I don't even care. The taillights back here, like something like these. It looks like it took a hit here, but it didn't damage the taillights. But this is the only damage on this bed. The underside is so clean. There is no rust underneath. So like I'm trying to get 1,000 for the bed. I put it for like 1,200 best offer, hoping that people would like haggle and whatnot. And you know what? People don't decide. I give you an offer and you want me to name the price and then you won't ever message me again? Okay, well, that's your problem, not mine. So yeah, like I said, all of this stuff, like make offers on this. I put the engine for 3,800. Make an offer. I don't care. Like people will see the number and be like, oh, I sent a guy the tuner today. I said 250 bucks for everything. Never got a response. It's like, bruh, how hard is it to give me a counter offer? I just want to get it gone. I don't care about the price. Let's get this stuff out of here. I mean, I do care a little bit about the price, but not like an insane amount. Like, just get it out of here. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So, other than that, yeah, so it definitely needs new ones of these. So if I come over here and I just, goodbye. So the grill's in really good shape. I'm gonna save that for Dave. So grill, headlights, and that should really be about it. This thing looks actually kind of gnarly all torn apart. So we'll it's gonna get some blackout headlights, kind of like basically what my truck has now. Same with the tail lights. I need to find a tailgate, a rear bumper for it. I need to get this whole thing cleaned. I'm not gonna clean it until the bed is sold, and then I'm gonna go over this thing like top to bottom and really just pressure wash everything. I'm gonna be taking off all of the insulation off of the firewall and re-insulating everything and doing it my way. Dynamat makes a product, and then there's a spray on stuff, so I'm gonna do that as well. So yeah, nice and slow. All right, so here's where we're pretty much left off. I was gonna pull the transmission, but I forgot. I left like no gas in my car, so I'm like, I really don't care. I gotta take off the 2 bolts for the drive shaft, the 4 bolts for the back, ladybug on my arm for some reason, and pull the drive shaft out. And then there's the 4 cross member bolts and then 2 holding the mount on. So we'll take all that off, but I'll do it tomorrow. I got the stuff chilling in the engine bay, so not a big deal. Bumper, grill, headlights, they're off, and we'll have to get rid of that mirror at some point. But besides that, somebody come buy this bed, dude. This thing is clean. There's literally 1 scratch on it. You guys buy it, get it out of here, and if somebody comes and buys it, I will wash this truck. That's gonna be my stipulation. You guys buy my bed, and I'll wash the truck. So whatever money I get for the bed, I will spend on a very, very good wash on the truck. So that should pretty much do it though. All my parts, I made sure that all the parts that we're gonna keep are in the truck. So everything that we're keeping in the truck. So anything that we are not keeping, this is for my black truck. So all this, like the VGT controller that I'm making, this is all stuff that's gonna be getting rid of, as well as the engine over there. I'm gonna be moving the sound system. I'm gonna move this to the black truck. So the black truck will have a nice sound system, and this one will this will have a nice nice bed in the back, maybe a TV back there. We'll see. I wanna kind of make this as luxurious as possible. I'm kind of going through and like figuring ideas out and seeing what I want to do, and just I feel like I can make a lot of things happen with this. So I'm gonna feel bad doing it to the Bighorn interior. Yes, we got it is a Bighorn. So I have a Laramie truck and a Bighorn. That's pretty awesome. So happy with that. But yeah, bumper parts. See you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys. Sorry about the black lighting. Working on getting a new camera here soon, but once winter's over, I won't have to work in the shop anymore. But yeah, so appreciate you guys. See ya later.